You may think this line is getting old, but trust me, son, I want me gold. Ah ha 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 ha. Got a shilling in his hand. Look at him.
He's got his gold. Hey everyone, welcome to Straight Jacket Talk, where it's two guys, a girl, and a horror show. My name is Kevin, and I'm joined by a guy who's always looking for an investment opportunity. It's Nathan.
Yeah, but I ain't investing in no scam horror tours in New York, that's for sure.
Dang. They had
Sorry, Morty.
Bella Lugosi's house, no?
I don't know if that was
Debatable. What was it? Stephanie Lugosi's house?
Stella
Lugosi's house. That's right.
I'm also joined by a girl who hates sneezing. It's Jill.
hate it so much. 3 times, 2 in a row. It's not good. Not good. You get captured.
Forever.
God bless you.
God bless you.
God bless us, everyone. It's that kind of holiday movie.
I felt like we were going to go into
yes.
the scene from Christmas Vacation where he's like, the blessing.
The blessing.
Now that's a good movie.
That is a good movie. This is too. We watched Leprechaun 2 from 1994. It was directed by Rodman Flender. It was also written by Turi Meyer and Al Stipin. This is the only Leprechaun movie to take place on St. Patrick's Day, which you would think they would all kind of fall on it. Like Halloween. No?
Yeah, that
you're
would
onto
make
something.
some sense, yeah.
Let's play the budget game. Leprechaun 2 had a budget of $1.5 million. Do you know how much it made at the box office?
You're not fooling me. This was straight to VHS. That's my answer.
2.
$2 million? Mm-hmm. Jill's the closest.
Damn it.
This was the last Leprechaun movie before the reboots that was a theatrical release. Made $2.3 million at the box office.
Ouch.
I don't know if that's even with the budget. I don't think it was.
Theaters take half, so you got to double your money to break even.
Ooh.
And 2.3 is not double 1.5, so
The Leprechaun got no gold out of this one.
negative gold, in fact.
He's going to be upset. Currently, on Rotten Tomatoes, Leprechaun 2 has a 6% critic score. You heard that right. 6%. And a 29% audience score. So this is like the rottenest of Rotten Tomatoes, pretty much. But what did we think about Leprechaun 2? Before we get into our review, if you guys could please hit the like and subscribe button, and also hit the notification bell, because when we have a new video, you'll be the first to know. Isn't that right, Nathan?
Yes, it's a privilege.
For sure. And you don't want to piss the Leprechaun off, because he will come and find you. This movie is a movie I've wanted to see for quite some time. Leprechaun, the original, was such a cool movie. It's one of my favorites. I don't know if it's a bad, good movie. I don't know how to explain it, but it has sentimental value, I think, to me. Nathan, you're shaking your head.
No, I believe it has sentimental value to you. I totally believe that.
Oh, he's a hater.
Oh, boy.
Oh, man.
Dang.
Well, I got to tell you, so I've been wanting to see Leprechaun 2 for a while. You know, my overall thoughts are, what happened to Leprechaun 1? This is a sequel, and it didn't feel like a sequel, right?
I'm pretty sure each movie just introduces a new leprechaun, and he just happens to, all the leprechauns look like Warwick Davis in the leprechaun makeup,
Dude.
which I'm fine with.
Dude.
Because, I mean, we watched Leprechaun in the Hood for Mouths of Madness, and that is definitely an entirely different leprechaun. So, from this one and the first one. So, I don't think there's any continuity between the movies whatsoever.
That was going to be my big discussion question, which is crazy that you touched on it. Are there different leprechauns for each movie? Because I've only watched Leprechaun in the Hood besides 2 and the original, but they all seem like different stories. Jill, you've watched more Leprechaun movies than us. I mean, are there any interweaving of the stories?
No, they're all separate. It's basically like kind of an anthology, except not really. They all look the same, but that kind of begs the question for me, at least, are there lots of leprechauns in the universe, and are they all the same? You know, like a mythical creature, like all centaurs are kind of all the same or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or maybe they're all the same.
That's the kind of the conclusion I came to, especially since this leprechaun, he aged 1,000 years and didn't age a year. The leprechaun in Leprechaun 1 says, I believe he was 650 years old to that cop, whereas this leprechaun is 2,000 years old.
Say, aren't we a little young to be out this late?
No, I'm 600 years old. It's a special birthday for a leprechaun. I'm 1,000 years old. You may have saved your daughter, but on me next 1,000th birthday, I'll stalk your fairest offspring.
We're dealing with different creatures here.
That makes sense, because in every movie too, like he gets fucked up at the end.
He's gonna blow!
Yeah.
So like in the
he
first
dies,
one,
right?
yeah, they like put him in a cement wall or something, right?
Yeah,
So,
down a well with a clover, and then he like.
Yeah.
Does
so
he explode at the end of the first one too?
He has that like that Chucky like burnt thing happen to him.
Oh,
where, like,
right,
his face
right.
melts
He
and
like
stuff.
melts.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. And then he goes down a well.
So yeah, it doesn't add up.
Oh, that's kind of cool. I didn't even think about it till this one, that could really be a situation where each Leprechaun movie has a different Leprechaun. Obviously, you know, all the original ones are played by Warwick Davis, same actor.
Yeah.
You guys could be onto something that is just leprechauns in this universe. They all look the same or similar, at least.
Well, they all have different rules, it seems. I've seen 3 of them, and there's no continuity.
Although in Leprechaun in the Hood, they do trap him in a safe too.
Yeah,
But
which means they're just ripping off their own second movie, and it's another reason to really hate Leprechaun in the Hood a lot.
But they don't even mention in that, like in this one, they bring up the wrought iron is like the clover, like it hurts him.
Both leprechauns and fairies can only be harmed by wrought iron.
I don't know. They leave that out of Leprechaun in the Hood.
I mean,
That's a lot out.
Yeah, we shouldn't discuss Leprechaun in the Hood too much, but there was no reason he couldn't just teleport out of that particular safe that I could see in that movie. This one, at least they explain it a little bit.
Right. I think, originally when I started watching this movie, I kind of felt like Bridget in the car next to Cody there, and they're driving along, and her facial expression is just like, oh my God, what is this? And that's kind of how I was feeling, because it was moving very slow at the beginning. And then we got a lot of good Leprechaun stuff, I thought. So, I mean, it did pick up for me. I did enjoy it at parts, but I think overall it just wasn't as good as the first Leprechaun. Jill, what do you think? How's this one feel for you?
I think I might have like a wild perspective on this particular franchise in
Give
general.
it to us.
So I really think that Leprechaun 2 is better than its predecessor, Leprechaun.
Really?
What? Whoa!
Okay.
I love it.
I actually think this is my first time seeing Leprechaun 2, by the way. I had seen...
Is it really?
So the story behind this is that for It's Lay's podcast, every March we watch in chronological order a Leprechaun movie. And I joined the podcast on year 3. So that was Leprechaun 3, Las
gotcha.
Vegas Casino, which was... So I watched the first one to prepare for that episode in like a mad rush, like the day of. So I didn't have time to watch 2.
Right.
So it just kind of, and I just forgot about it. I thought I actually already watched it until I saw that I hadn't logged it on Letterboxd, and also I've obviously never seen it before. So yeah, and then last year we did Leprechaun in Space, and this year we're doing In the Hood as well.
SJT calls Leprechaun in Space for next year, by the way. Sorry, MOM.
I have to
Dang.
review it again. No, I think it's better than the first Leprechaun because I think it's like funnier. I think it's wittier. I think it's darker and it's more entertaining. And also for me, this is the last like pure Leprechaun movie without the extra added gimmicks, because after this we go to Vegas, we go to the casino, which is just it's batshit. Like Leprechaun 3 is batshit, but then it gets more batshit because they go to space, and then it just gets weird, honestly, when they go to the hood. To me, this is like the last, like, this is a Leprechaun movie before, you know, they had to go crazy. Yeah, for me, this movie just like kept subverting my expectations, because when we first saw like the hearse and like the death tour in LA, I was really into that kind of carrier for the plot, because I really thought that everything was going to start like on this tour. Yeah. So I'm glad that they brought it to, you know, Houdini's house. Yeah. Also, I think the plaque on that tree was really interesting. Like, it made me wonder if they're trying to hint at the fact that Houdini had like the help of leprechauns or something. You know, like that's his magic. I don't know if that's what they're trying to say. Yeah, I really love that. I love that you get to see his house, which is like this massive tree kind of cave thing going on. Yeah. I like the characters. I love Uncle Morty. I think Uncle Morty is like the funniest character.
You can't give the tour.
Why not?
Well, because you're plastered.
So what difference does that make?
And I don't know, they just used everything they had in every scene they really just utilized everything to make it very effective. One very important thing for me in a Leprechaun movie is that they have limericks. So they did drop off with the limericks at some point. I forget. I don't think it was in space they had any limericks in that movie. Oh, no. It pissed me off, honestly. I was like, what the point? What is the point of a Leprechaun movie if you're not going to have limericks?
Right.
Yeah.
Like, really? So I believe in KLIL, KLIL, keep limericks in Leprechaun. It's the movement I'm starting. But yeah, I have big love for this movie.
I'll sign on to that movement.
Me too.
Perfect.
Nathan.
Okay.
What's your thoughts? I like how Nathan had to brace himself.
I had to brace myself for myself. The first time I ever saw Leprechaun, I was either in high school or middle school, and I caught 10 to 15 minutes of a Leprechaun movie of some sort on like the Sci-Fi Channel or something like that.
Definitely the Sci-Fi Channel. Yeah.
Yeah. And I vowed never to watch a movie in the franchise. I would have kept that vow had I not started in with this show, Mouse of Madness and Straight Jacket Talk. And I don't think I really would have missed out on much.
Dang.
I don't like this movie at all. I don't like the first one either, but I think the first one is much, much better than this one. When you said that it started off slow, Kevin, it's only like 20 minutes. But for me, it felt like an hour before we got into, because I did not like any of this tour. Not even Lucy from Twin Peaks and Clint Howard could save that beginning scene where Cody, our protagonist there, starts trying to scam tourists.
You won't believe your eyes. It will be the most frightening experience of your life.
This scam tour where they just drive around the city aimlessly saying things are things that they're not. And I love Lucy from Twin Peaks. And she was playing Lucy from Twin Peaks too. Like, you could imagine Lucy from Twin Peaks wanting to go on this tour. It's not all bad. There were some funny moments that there was some stuff that made me laugh a bit, but it's not nearly enough to make up for the amount of time I was just kind of bored. There is I want to call it a mechanic, but this is not a video game. It's a movie. I'll just call it a mechanic anyway. There's a leprechaun mechanic in this movie that honestly just sort of fucks the whole movie. We'll get into it at some point. That's the point where I was just like, I'm off the train. I'm done. I can't stand this movie. Sorry.
That's funny that you say that, because I had such a wildly different experience. I put this on this morning, actually, and I put my phone down because I have a really bad habit of watching movies and then looking at my phone and missing things. And yeah. But actually, for this one, I didn't have an issue with that because I was hooked from the beginning to the very end. And the beginning did not drag. Like, for me, I was just really into it. And yeah, the whole movie flowed really well for me. I also just watched, I know you guys also just watched Leprechaun in the Hood, but
Well,
this is so much better.
yeah. In my review of Leprechaun in the Hood, I said that Leprechaun in the Hood makes the first Leprechaun look like Citizen Kane.
Oh my God.
And it makes this movie look like, I don't know, Titanic maybe? Like, not quite Citizen Kane, but still a much, much better movie than it actually is in my personal opinion.
I'll take that comparison.
Yeah.
I think too, like coming off of just watching Leprechaun in the Hood, I was worried a little bit because like at first, yeah, we do get the scene of the leprechaun with the guy there, his slave, and the woman. And this was 1,000 years ago, right? In Ireland, I'm guessing. Like you get
Killarney.
You get that scene right away of the leprechaun, but then I was kind of worried because you do get a lot of setup and there's no leprechaun. I'm like, oh my God, this is going to turn into Leprechaun in the Hood again, where he's like a side
Where there was
character.
no fucking leprechaun in the movie, basically.
Right.
Yeah.
So I was worried.
It's not that bad like that.
No.
At least we get some leprechaun action in this one. My God.
When he shows up, he shows up
reasonably early.
Yeah. He shows up. It's just that beginning part. I was just very worried that this was going to be something that I didn't want, because I think what I do love about the original Leprechaun is it's like he's in it all the time. And if he's not there, like you're always like, where is he? You know, he's around.
Right.
So, but once he's in this, then you kind of have that same feeling too of like, where is he? Is he going to be, you know, here? Because I think that's what's creepy too. It's like he can show up out of the blue and
he can just appear before you. That's for sure.
And they play with that idea in this one too, which I kind of like, because there's that bar scene where another little person walks in to the bathroom and you're thinking it is the leprechaun.
That got me.
I am not going to eat any food offered to me in a bar bathroom.
Yo, man, want me go?
Thanks.
It's real milk chocolate.
Just want to put that out
He
there.
set that bucket down on that nasty ass floor too. And milk chocolate, honey.
It melts. The bar's got to be hot. It's gonna be. Blech.
Also drugs. Like, be smart.
Drugs.
He looked like he was on drugs when he was offering him the candy too. He had
Just
this real
highlight.
wide-eyed like look on his. Yeah, I don't trust food from that man.
Andy was in Bad Santa too, so it's like you have that character in your mind.
He was in Bad Santa, yes.
Hey, listen, little people have to get work where they can. All right. It's leprechaun movies and Christmas movies and
man.
Snow White. Actually,
Bad
not Snow
Santa-
White.
Jingle All the Way? Come on.
Yes.
Was he in Jingle All the Way?
I don't know.
Nope.
I haven't seen Jingle All the Way in a long time.
Yeah.
I think they were just white little people and Jingle All the Way.
Bad Santa is a classic. He was
Yeah.
much better in that movie than in this one. I was confused as to why he was acting the way he was.
Just creepy.
I guess.
Nathan,
it was like-
how many bathroom run-ins with normal people have you had? Not many, right?
No, not many. I mean, men don't talk to each other in the bathroom for the most part.
Really?
In fact, In fact, if a man starts talking to me in the men's room, I'm like mad about it. For me, that counts as a confrontation. Basically, I know women feel very differently about this.
Oh my God,
but
we make friends.
Yeah, no. If I'm peeing, you don't talk to me. I'm busy.
Well, I'm not going to go into it, but there's like a whole social thing going on for women in the bathroom. We're not peeing when we're talking most of the time.
Right.
It's afterwards. But yeah,
Right.
It'd be weird if you would talk to someone while they're peeing and looking at them because urinals.
Right.
Please cut this out.
No.
You can't trust Nathan. Did you all laugh kind of like I did, where the kid leaves the bathroom and then this guy is looking at the urinal that's like up to
Oh,
his
he's
head.
not. Yeah, it's too big for him.
Whoa.
Dude, use the bucket. Use the candy
Oh
bucket.
my God.
Oh, these chocolates are a little wet.
They were good to begin with, man.
Hey, a leprechaun's got to do what leprechaun's got to do.
Indeed.
Oh my goodness. One of the things I want to talk about on this movie is his magic is back, right? The leprechaun's magic. And again, if we're kind of taking the first movie out of it for what's happening in this one, he seems to be powerful throughout.
From the beginning, yeah. Although, if you remember correctly, in the first movie, all of his gold is stolen.
Oh.
And that his magic is attached to him being in possession of his gold. So he gradually gets more powerful as he gets his gold back. In this one, he only ever loses that one piece of gold. There's not much continuity between the two movies, but that one, it actually works, you know. So
They're just like, fuck it. We're going to make rules, and we're not going to keep up with them.
That seems like what they were doing a little bit, which is okay,
Right.
I guess. You know, I don't know. It makes it fun, like you said. I do like the continuity of when he gets out of the tree and the homeless guy is there, and he takes a rag to his shoes.
Shoes are filthy.
I love the shoe bit.
yeah.
I don't know why. It's so funny.
They used it a lot less in this movie than in the first one, though.
Yeah.
Like, go to a shoe store and just start throwing them at him, and you'll be fine, you know? But they never do anything like that.
I was trying to remember other shoe scenes in this movie. That's the only one I could think about where I don't know.
Shoes are filthy.
What did you all think of the kind of relationship between Cody and Bridget that was blossoming here? Because it seems like how old are they, first off? Do we know?
High school.
Yeah, high school age.
They're teenagers for sure.
Yeah.
Is she legal?
Well,
No.
that might make sense as to why she's super pale, and then when they show the boobs, they're not.
I was going to bring this up if nobody else did.
So I don't think that's her. That's
She
how they got
also
around
went from
it.
a B cup to a D cup in that scene.
How do
That
they
is
match
like
up boobs?
That is like a C cup, first of all.
I was
Okay.
hyperbolizing. The
that's
point
being-
is her tits grew by
C
like
cup
2
is being
times.
generous. That's
Oh.
if she went from A cup to B cup.
Okay, well, still bigger than bigger
She
than they
grew.
were under the shirt. That's for sure.
Here's the real question. Do you think the leprechaun was using that, for his advantage? He was like,
Could have been.
I'll
I
grow her
suppose.
boobs.
Yeah, there you go. We've got an in-universe reason for why the body double looks nothing like the actress now. Yeah,
It was magic.
it was magic. Yes, yes.
Still creepy.
That could have been a good kill.
Yeah.
That could have been a fun kill. The guy, thinking he's touching some boobs when in reality it's like spitting blades. That's a great concept. I love that. And I wanted to see him put his face in those blades. But it went off screen and I was immediately disappointed.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
get to see his body a little bit later hanging.
Yeah. Show me guts flying off the blades. Show me viscera. It's an R-rated movie. You can do that.
I think it's like the budget, though, right? I mean, why else wouldn't they show it?
Had to have been the budget.
Yeah, like you said, that would have been such a cool kill to see on screen.
Instead, we look at a shadow.
Plus, that dude kind of deserved it. He was hitting on
Yeah.
Bridget.
What? Chili dogs aren't a ticket to sex?
And what about those chili dogs?
Ian, you better go.
I get it. You're just a tease.
I don't know. I've never tried.
What about the chili dogs?
I don't know if she was being like a cold, I don't know if she was trying to play her part as a cold actress, or a cold part, or if she was just not a good actress. I don't know if I'm explaining that right.
The latter. Her idea of acting is making weird faces and
That was it.
that's her acting. Yeah.
I was just kind of like, man, she was like stone cold with poor Cody. He was trying his best. He's trying to keep his job. And she's like, fuck you. Word over.
Look, next time things will be different.
What makes you think there's gonna be a next time?
I agree. I thought she was kind of a bitch in the beginning, but then when that other creepy guy, the guy that got like lawnmowered or whatever, when he started like coming on to her and she turned him down, was like, I'm with Cody. I was like, you know what? You're a bad bitch, actually. You're okay. And then she was fine from then on. But in the beginning, I was like, you're kind of mean.
I couldn't tell when her demeanor changed from her tone of voice or anything like that, to be honest with you. Like, the lines made it clear, but the way she actually behaved towards her co-star didn't really seem to change to me much. It was kind of like she was cold and standoffish with him when she was mad at him, and then when she was in love with him, she was also cold and standoffish. I kind of wonder if she just didn't like her co-star in real life, because it just, none of that ever gelled for me in any way. There was never any chemistry there or anything. I'm getting a bit nitpicky about a fucking Leprechaun movie by saying that. But the question was asked, so, you know.
Gotcha.
Yeah, because I think they're trying to develop these characters a little bit in their relationship. And, you know, especially when the Leprechaun comes to take her as his bride, right? That's the concept that he's hoping to have here. And I didn't think they established good either, of like the Leprechaun finding her, right? And being
there was a little scene where he like made a sundial sort of thingy that he spun.
Spin, spin, me little guide. Point the way to me fresh young bride.
Oh,
and then that's when the guy with the quarter showed up and tossed him a quarter.
Oh, gotcha. And he took his ring off.
Yeah.
Kind of another thing in
amusing,
Leprechaun
actually.
in the Hood, too.
Leprechaun in the Hood is just Leprechaun 2, but worse and also racist.
You're not wrong.
When he took off his finger and went and started licking it and went, finger-lickin' good.
Oh, finger-lickin' good.
That was like,
Oh my God.
That kind of cracked me up. That was a good one. Yeah.
That was a good line. One of my favorite scenes, actually, in this movie is when the Leprechaun finally meets up with Bridget and Cody is in the house. He had just given her flowers, right? Perfect segue into her sneezing, because she has to sneeze 3 times, right?
She sneezes once. She sneezes twice. She'll be me bride when she sneezes thrice.
Sneezes 3 times.
I don't get it. Them's the rules.
I also could have sworn I heard him finish saying, God bless you, and that it should have worked, but
God bless you.
You know what?
Maybe I'm wrong.
Okay, wait a minute. I want to ask this. At the beginning, the God bless you cancels out the 3 sneezes?
Yeah. He just says, God bless you. And that's it. It's over. Because magic is fucked for some reason.
I had to rewind it, and I was like, wait a minute. She sneezed 3 times.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there is a line in there where he says,
And if no one saves her soul by speaking, God bless you, the fair maiden is mine forever.
as long as nobody says, God bless you, then we will be wed. And it's like, and so he just gave him the information he needed to save his daughter. Seems like a bad idea to me.
You're the leprechaun.
Am I the leprechaun?
You're the fucking leprechaun, dude.
You need a little beard and
little shoes, little stockings.
Did I do that good an impression? Is that what you're telling me?
Can you just talk like that for the rest of the night?
No.
I tried.
Sorry. But I won't be doing that.
No, but I really love when they get in that house, and like this is where it seems scary. He's like chasing them down, and we get like cool horror imagery.
It's crazy.
Yeah, and when the body falls down when she opens up the front door, that was pretty good, pretty classic.
It's crazy.
He felt a little like Michael Myers there, you know, setting up his kills.
It's crazy.
Yeah, displaying them for the world.
So I liked it. I thought it was good. And then we get to the part where, and Jill had said she liked this, of the leprechaun's house, right? This is where he lives.
Has many secrets.
Is this in the tree?
Yeah, man.
Or is it a portal?
Probably a magical tree dimension.
Or it's just underground.
Oh.
In a portal.
I mean, it is a magical tree dimension when you think about it.
A leprechaun's home has many secrets.
A leprechaun's home has many surprises.
And he says that. And then she can't escape, right? Because there's like a million tunnels.
Yeah, I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
I love it when they just like give the leprechaun his own kind of lore that doesn't quite exist like in the real world. It just makes it more fascinating. Nathan.
Sorry. I don't want to shit on everything you love about the movie, but it's going to happen.
Shit on it.
The leprechaun realizes that he's lost a gold shilling, and he leaves her alone after licking her.
Kiss me. I'm Irish.
Thank God he leaves her alone. Don't like any of those elements, by the way. Hated all of that.
Very rapey.
But I wasn't going to say it because I felt like it might draw some of the air out of the room, but the entire concept of this movie is don't let Bridget get raped by the leprechaun, and that made me upset, and I didn't like it at all.
Yeah.
Anyway.
No, you're onto something. Like, do not discount that, because that's part of the terror, I think, in the horror is like she faces that from that weird guy who got like murdered. But she faces it. It's like a real threat from the leprechaun. That's what makes him so scary, is that he's taking a child bride, first of all. Yeah. He's creepy, but also when he's talking about like making babies with her, and he's talking about like disfiguring her to look like him.
We'll have to make some changes to your face as well. 'Tis a fair face, but the wee ones won't suckle if you don't look like them.
Yeah.
That was messed up, man.
Yeah, but
she's gonna have a whole litter.
You didn't like that.
I didn't like it. I was like, I'm no longer having fun with this fucking movie. In a more serious movie where the idea isn't to have fun with it, I feel like you can have that type of stuff. Mm-hmm. In this movie, I was just like, I'm grossed out and I'm not happy about it. You know what I'm saying? I didn't like it at all.
I get it. No. It's funny you don't like that, but that's like one of the reasons why I like it, especially Leprechaun 2, because I feel like it really toes the line between being clever and dark and funny, but also like truly horrific at times, and then also like the conventional kind of slasher type of horror.
I hear you. I guess maybe it's just for me personally. The first one toes that line better, and this one sort of goes over it in a way that made me not enjoy it, actually.
Is it the lack of Jennifer Aniston?
Bridget is just as hot as Jennifer Aniston. That's a bit of a hot take, I know.
I got Princess Buttercup vibes when...
A little bit.
Yes.
Yeah. That's also a really good movie.
Yes.
Maybe we should have covered that instead. You want to just talk about The Princess Bride for the rest of the episode?
No, but I have something to say, because the kind of like comedy that's in The Princess Bride, it's like kind of like dumb, like older, like 80s, early 90s, maybe.
Yeah.
Like physical comedy when they're running out of the tunnels, like that is just so classic, like would have been on like, I don't know, anything.
That would have been that would have been in The Princess Bride, I think. Like that's
exactly.
Those scenes where they were in the leprechauns,
the Benny Hill
cavernous areas, all reminded me of that, like almost fairy tale comedy stuff.
We ended up on a whole nother tangent about rape when I was just trying to talk about.
Sorry, that was my fault.
No, it's all right. That's all right. When the leprechaun first leaves her and she goes through the door, the first place she ends up is like in a room in her house.
Yeah.
And I loved that. I loved that so much. And I was like, ooh, this is going to be this really cool thing where she sort of teleports around and it's totally disorienting. And I love that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Anytime anybody does that. But instead it's just not elaborated on.
They leave it.
They just have her go into that one room, and then the rest is just cave.
Yeah.
And you end up back in the same room of the cave. And I was really disappointed that they didn't go further with that.
Yeah, it was like one scene.
It was one room. It wasn't even a full scene.
Yeah.
Like if she had ended up like in a different room in her house, or, oh, now I'm in Cody's house, that would have been,
yeah, for
you
sure.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for
Or
sure.
like horrific imagery in Cody's house, or something else, another familiar location from the movie.
Then you could almost kind of bring different vibes, like of like Nightmare on Elm Street
Yeah,
vibes and stuff like that.
Well, that's the thing, is when she first ended up in that room like that, I was like, ooh, that's a really cool, like Nightmare on Elm Street sort of deal there. But it was never elaborated on. And so it ended up just feeling out of place by the end of it.
You know what? I'm glad like Jill had talked about where she's being assaulted or like being his bride or whatever. It adds real stakes to what's going on too. It's not just over some stupid like coin situation. Like he's trying to get his coin back, you know, and I think they kind of layer that in a little bit too, because Cody keeps like, you know, when he's wants to give the coin back, he's like, I'll trade you the coin for her.
I'll trade you the coin for Bridget.
Ah, a fair trade, lad. Give me the coin, and she's yours. I promise.
For Bridget. And it does, I think, add a little bit more stakes and a bigger layer to what's going on.
Yeah.
You know, bigger danger. There's more danger here. So
yeah, I hear you.
I really like that too. And going back to the opening scene, the very beginning of the movie, where we have, you know, like 1,000 years ago or whatever it is. And the same thing is happening, but it's the guy's son. The guy's daughter.
yeah.
And when he finds out, he's like truly just like horrified. And then the leprechaun makes really gross remarks like, I'll be gentle with her on the wedding night and stuff.
Oh, don't worry. I'll be gentle with her on our wedding night.
Right off the bat, that just like, I don't know, sleazy tone. That's kind of what I liked about it, because I like reading fantasy, things with fae. I guess leprechaun are technically fae.
Okay. Is that like another word for fairy or something? Okay.
You know, fairy bargain. I like that all of that is kind of happening here. Like they're always very deceptive. And even if you get a wish or a bargain, it's never going to work out good for you.
Right.
Right.
Especially with Uncle Morty. I love that scene where the pot of gold's just like protruding from his chest.
Where is it?
Oh, it's coming.
Get it out! Get it out of me! Oh God, Marty! Marty, no!
It's just so like goofy. But which I like, because in any other movie, I think like nowadays, especially contemporary horror, there would be blood and guts all over that gold.
Yeah.
And the fact that it was just like a rubber kind of stomach.
Like pristine.
I was like, thank God, because that would have been nasty. And like, that's not what I want. You know, this is goofy, and it shows, you know, Uncle Morty was just like so selfish that he couldn't help himself, even if it would bring his demise.
I will say, if you do not account for the monkey's paw when you're dealing with an evil wish-giving creature, you kind of deserve to die. Morty should have at least tried. When he said, I want your pot of gold, I was like, it's going to end up inside of him, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like,
You gotta be specific.
You gotta be specific, yeah.
Like, I want it out.
I want it out. It's like,
I know.
at least say I want it out safely without hurting me.
Without killing me.
I mean, at that point, you gotta admit he's desperate to have it out, so he's just not thinking right. But you can't make the same claim for wanting the pot of gold in the first place. So
I like how they reference like the book too that he was reading, and even the leprechaun was giving him shit like, "Oh, you didn't read the book." Like,
yeah, you should have read the book.
All right,
you should have known. You should have known this was going to happen. Like my leprechaun impression has changed like 3 times.
That's all right. The leprechaun changes his voice too a little bit.
Right.
I think that was a missed opportunity too, is like to delve more into like the book and like get into like, because I think that's a cool concept too. Learning more, like you said, Jill, about the mythology of the leprechaun and things like that.
Yeah.
I think that would have been cool to get more of that, but
Leprechaun 3, it's coming.
I keep hearing Leprechaun 3 is one of the best in the franchise. I'm almost curious.
It's zany.
I think, like you said too, with Uncle Morty there getting the pot of gold in his stomach. This is perfect Leprechaun. This is what I want.
I'm making fun of the scene a little bit, but it is like the perfect scene, the best scene in the movie. It is the most what I want from a Leprechaun movie. I'm nitpicking because I'm an asshole, but I enjoyed it a lot.
It's ironic too that Morty, a scam artist, gets scammed in the end
by his own greed, which is what led him to be a scam artist in the first place.
Oh,
layers like an onion.
Ooh, now
Shrek.
To me, this definitely was like one of the most Leprechaun scenes, but the other like real Leprechaun scene is when he's at the go-kart place and gets in his go-kart.
Yeah, but this is where the movie lost me the hardest.
Really?
Oh, no.
What?
Yeah. The go-kart was great. I loved everything about the go-kart. I loved it that it said me gold on it. Although I think I might have missed. You said it says I want me gold.
I think so.
Yeah. I loved everything about the go-kart, but the plot twist is what happens here. And it's a fucking problem.
You can't do it, can you? As long as I have this.
You have to give it to me!
It turns out that if you're holding the leprechaun's gold, he can't goddamn hurt you.
Oh, yeah. You didn't like that.
No, all the stakes are gone immediately. Like he's just invincible for the rest of the movie. He can just waltz right in, take Bridget out of the damn tree, and go home. And just keep the gold in his pocket for the rest of his life. And the leprechaun will just be like, I'm mad.
Well, and that's what he does.
Fucks everything up. He was never in any danger at any point after he got that gold coin. Fucks the whole movie.
But he didn't know that until this scene, until he's almost ran over by the go-kart.
So what? He wasn't in any danger. All the tension is gone.
Well, not if you're watching it for the first time.
Sure, but like, hate it. Hate it so much.
I think too, you got to figure out some way of getting your level to Leprechaun, because he's a magical creature that, you know, is a little bastard and can really, I mean, he has the upper hand. So you have to have some way.
No, he doesn't have the upper hand anymore. You've got the gold and he can't hurt you.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. That way it makes things.
You just hold the gold and then chase him around with a wrought iron pole and it's over.
They didn't do it though. And he almost tricked Cody at the end.
Wait, do you still have the coin?
Yeah, why?
Leave the damn thing here, that's all he wants.
But Bridget, as long as we have the coin, he can't hurt us.
You lose.
No, he didn't.
He almost did. When he became Bridget.
He tried.
Yeah.
Yeah, he tried. I'm sorry.
Listen.
I'm sorry, but it's unforgivable.
Wow. Yeah, see, that didn't take me out of it. I thought, though, that the way this was going to play out for a minute is Bridget was going to turn heel on Cody and join the Leprechaun. Just like John Cena. I thought this was going to happen. Because
that would have been kind of gross, wouldn't it?
Dude, there was no way to tell that she was different as like the Leprechaun than she was normally because of her acting was all the same.
It was all the same, yes.
Hey, I thought that was a testament to how good the Leprechaun was at being magically deceptive.
But I kind of knew exactly what was going on the moment she was like...
We ride at dawn for this movie.
I think this movie is like, it does get back to like a lot of fun stuff for sure. And like after watching again Leprechaun in the Hood, which I was not a huge fan of, this one really like felt like a breath of fresh air a little bit. And I was like, okay, I'm into this more than I should be really. But I again, it's fun. It's the Leprechaun, right? Leprechaun 2. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
I wanted to talk about the bar scene when Uncle Morty challenges the Leprechaun to a drinking contest.
Can I have a bottle of that red special rye? I'd like to show my little buddy here how a real man drinks.
Drink what you want. Drink what you're able. If you're drinking with me, you'll be under the table.
I'm going to say something kind of ridiculous. I think Uncle Morty is like a very good character because he's a piece of shit, but he's also smart and trying to help out his nephew. But also he's very greedy and he's funny, but he's very greedy. But I just love that scene. It was just so funny to see the leprechaun get obliterated at the thing that he should be good at, right?
Right.
He's Irish. He's a leprechaun. Doesn't like Canadian whiskey.
Blended Canadian. The only whiskey is Irish whiskey. Ah.
Canadian blended.
Yeah, that hurt me a little bit, especially, with the social climate right now.
Yeah.
Another
I
thing.
wouldn't normally be like, I don't like that line, but
right now it kind of hurts.
like I used to make fun of Canada a lot, just, not out of hatred or anything, just because it's funny. But now I can't do it in good conscience. So.
It hurt me twice. All the short jokes. And the Canadian joke.
I don't know about you guys, but that bar scene almost reminded me a little bit of like the Gremlins.
Gremlins!
In a way.
That's what I was thinking when I was watching it.
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
Oh my God. Yes. And I love that he gets so drunk and he's trying to do his magic, but he's wasted. So he's like cross-eyed and they're like playing the music all kind of distorted. And this ashtray is just like not levitating.
Didn't anybody ever tell you not to drink and levitate?
Because you don't drink and levitate.
Uncle Morty had some balls too, because he was like talking down to the leprechaun. He was like, can't take our drink,
Maybe it's just part of that leprechaun myth that they can all hold their liquor. Oh, don't be ashamed. There's nothing to be embarrassed about. Why don't I just get you a little green lemonade?
He does this all day long,
Right.
Like this was his time to shine.
His scam. Yeah. I do think Uncle Morty's pretty funny. I do think he's a good character. I think he's also the best actor in the movie.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I will say that Cody's idea of acting is also just making weird faces.
Yeah.
There's a point where he's getting arrested and his hands are behind his back and his I'm not talking face acting was just him going.
No.
I hear you about the bar scene.
The One of Us, that was awesome.
Yeah, it was a Todd Browning's Freaks reference.
Yep.
Movie I haven't seen, but I know the reference,
Yeah. I just know it from Wolf of Wall Street.
Did you hear, though, the little person from the bathroom? He said to the leprechaun, "You're our hero, homie. I'm 5,000.
You're my hero, homie. I'm 5,000.
Anybody understand what that possibly could have meant?
No.
Is he saying he's 5,000 years old? Did I miss the line? Did I not hear it right? Or
I didn't hear it. Yeah.
I think it's cool slang. I think.
For what?
I don't know. We got to be cool to get it. So obviously none of us are cool.
Oh, no. I want to be cool.
You want to hang out with the leprechaun.
For sure. The scene right after the bar where he goes to the little cafe.
Yes. That's what I want to talk about.
When the guy asks him to pay and he's like, "Oh, you're after me gold."
So it's sweet gold you'll be wanting.
Gold card, Visa, MasterCard. I prefer cash, but maybe you're a little short.
Maybe you're a little short. That line actually cracked me up a little bit.
Short jokes.
Are you short? I have never met you in person.
Well, I met Kevin, but he's also short. So he probably didn't even notice. But I'm like 5'2".
Oh, okay. So you are pretty short.
So you and me, Jill, could fit right in with the
yeah,
leprechaun.
me and Kevin are like the same height. So at least that's what I remember.
Kevin's 5'6".
Close enough.
Yeah.
I'm not that much taller than you. I'm 5'8". So
dang.
this is a very short podcast.
Did you all know who that actor was that played the barista there?
Michael McDonald, I believe is his name.
Yeah.
He was the gay guy, one of the gay guys in Halloween Kills.
Your favorite.
Yeah,
Horror legend.
He was on Mad TV. I don't know if that was like the lesser SNL back in the late 90s.
He played Stewart.
Look what I can do.
That's right. right, he was Stewart. Look at me. Look what I can do. Look at me.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
That show wasn't good.
No.
That was the best
really
part of
bad.
that show.
And it wasn't that great.
But we were younger.
You saw one. Okay.
Right.
That skit was funny when you saw it the first time, but every skit after that was the same skit. So, like, it was one funny skit.
Yeah, definitely. I thought too, like, this was a really good kill again, like with the steam from the what was it, the cappuccino maker or whatever.
Yeah, the cappuccino steam. I thought they could have taken it further, but it was pretty good. It was actually on screen, which was nice.
Yeah, and that's what I mean when I said, I don't know, they use what's around them in the environment like really well. Like in the espresso bar, it's the steam from the espresso machine. I think that's really cool. My note for that was also love the espresso bar scene. So good. Leprechaun sobers up with 50 cups of espresso while getting belittled by the sassiest barista ever. Short jokes.
I do love that, like how he's got all those empty coffee mugs all around him.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like trying to sober up. That was a good, again, good stuff. That's like the stuff I like with the Leprechaun.
When Cody fights that skeleton. That was maybe one of the worst things I've ever seen. The whole thing felt like it was in slow motion, and it was pretty obvious that he was just manipulating the skeleton himself while pretending to struggle.
Yeah.
It was really, really bad.
Budget, you know?
It's a Leprechaun movie.
Oh my God. I can't.
Do you think the Leprechaun had time to like do up his go-kart the way he did, or was it magic? He just was like,
well, it was definitely magic. I don't think he was. I don't think he was out there during the day before meeting up with them, like painting. You know, I want me gold on a go-kart and welding spikes to it and stuff. But
I would love to see that though.
If they had that scene, maybe I'd give this movie another star.
Ooh,
you know, that could have been entertaining.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm talking about. Why would that be more entertaining?
Anything else?
This movie has a boom mic in it, which is something that most movies make fun of for bad movies, but usually don't actually make it into the final cut.
And this one had one.
This one had a boom mic in it, very clearly at the top of the screen.
Dang.
Was that the straw that broke the camel's back for you?
No, it was the
coin. No, it was the coin.
Oh, okay.
Not even the trash I'm going to talk about in After Dark has boom mics in it. So, you know.
Dang. Poor Lep.
Yeah,
maybe it was done on purpose, though.
Yeah, maybe.
It's time for quote or kill. We're going to give you our favorite quote of the movie or our favorite kill in the movie or both. I have a quote of when they were doing the tour in the car and they went by Bela Lugosi's house, and that woman came out and was pissed.
My husband is sick, but he ain't dead. Get that creepy ass vehicle off of my property. Ain't nobody dead.
He goes, what was that? Oh, that was the final resting place of Bela Lugosi. Then who the hell was that?
His stepdaughter, Stella Lugosi.
Stella Lugosi. I just thought that was a clever line. And for my kill, I got to go with that pot of gold in Uncle Morty.
What I think I would like is your crummy pot of gold.
You see, you shouldn't be so greedy.
Get it out of me.
So, is that your wish?
Yes.
Very well.
It's the best kill in the movie. That I'll piggyback onto you with that. That was going to be my favorite kill as well.
It's just classic Leprechaun, like we talked about. Plus, like, just even beforehand, the image of him sitting there with his like stomach elongated.
It
feels painful.
Very obviously a piece of rubber, but it's still kind of just conceptually awful.
Yeah, I don't know about you, but I'm thinking about like if I had that.
I mean, pregnant with the pot of gold. How heavy is that pot of gold got to be, too? Gold is heavy as fuck.
Yeah, it's just sitting there.
Got to be like 40, 50 pounds in there.
Whew, I don't want to think about it.
The fingernail cutting him down the middle of his stomach is... that was pretty great.
You know what? And they actually teased that earlier on Bridget when he was talking about like having to, like Jill said, to change her so she can
On the
support.
blanket.
Yeah. All right. How about you, Jill?
I'm just gonna go with my favorite kill. For me, it was the garage kill. The guy seeing titties, but it's actually blades, and then it's an off-screen kill, but I thought it was funny and also pretty gross. So, yeah.
It's conceptually very good. I understand budget constraints, I guess, though.
I just like how he buried himself in there.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, that's what you do, right? Anyway.
I think so.
All right, Nathan, how about you?
I already told you my favorite kill is the same as yours. The Morty kill is a bright spot in a movie I didn't like very much. I do have 2 lines, believe it or not, which is not something I usually do with a movie I don't like. First one is Uncle Morty asks Cody, "What happened?"
Me? That's crazy.
That's what I told the cops. Now, what the hell happened?
A leprechaun did it.
Maybe I should call the cops.
Maybe I should call the cops. I just thought that was funny. It was a good little one-liner there. My other one was a leprechaun limerick. I knew I had to get a favorite leprechaun limerick in there.
Yeah.
And it's...
You may think this line is getting old, but believe me, son, I want me gold.
But believe me, son, I want me gold. I didn't actually think he had that many great limericks in this movie. The first one is much more full of great limericks. And great leprechaun lines. But I thought that one was pretty funny because the amount he talks about wanting is gold, it gets ridiculous. And for them to acknowledge that made me laugh a little bit. So.
Yeah, it's all about the gold.
Well,
keep limericks and leprechaun. I am on board with this. Even if I don't like the movie, I want the limericks.
For sure.
So,
there's certain things leprechaun movies have to have. That's one of them. That's a big one
for sure. Now that you've told me Leprechaun in Space doesn't have limericks, I'm almost tempted to let the Mouths of Madness have it. You know,
I think Mouths of Madness wants to do the Vegas one. Dan's a big fan of it, so we'll see.
Okay,
little tease for next year. It's time for our final rating. We're gonna rate this movie from 1 to 5 stars. 5 is the boobies. 1 is the blades.
Nice.
Nathan, lead us off. What do you have for Leprechaun 2?
So I am going to have to give this one 1.5 stars, which I gave Leprechaun in the Hood 1 star. This is a better movie, so it gets 1.5. I would give Leprechaun 1 2 stars, so get it right in the middle there.
Right there.
I like a lot of trash movies. But this ain't my flavor. This sort of direct to DVD feeling movie. It's not my thing. The overall conceit of the movie, Bridget being kidnapped and they're trying to save her from being raped by the leprechaun. To me, it limits the amount of fun you can have in this. I'm not saying like, oh, I'm offended by it, they shouldn't have put it in there. I'm just saying that it really limits the amount of enjoyment I can get out of it. I'm sure there's movies I like where you could point out that makes me a hypocrite on it, but that's still my feelings. For the most part, there's some bright spots, and we talked about them because they're going to come up. There's some funny stuff in there, and there's some entertaining, clever stuff in there. But I mostly didn't laugh that much, and I mostly found it boring. I can't go better than 1.5 on this one.
For me, I'm giving Leprechaun 2 2.5 stars. I didn't love this movie, but I also didn't hate this movie. I think it does.
I can get that.
Yeah, it does have a lot of the things I love from the original. I actually retroactively went back on my Letterboxd and rated the first Leprechaun a little bit higher. I rated it 3 stars because to me, that's still my favorite out of the ones I've seen so far. And like I said, it's sentimental. I really like it. But this does have a lot of the good things I like from the first one. It's still fun. I think, like we said, it does amp up some of the stakes. You know, Nathan's right. For me, some of it is boring. Like I said, it does have a slow start still. This is a Leprechaun movie, sure, but I just don't think it hit on all the things that I love for a Leprechaun movie. And I think maybe they were trying to experiment and figure out what they wanted to do a little bit. So like, I do commend them for that, but like at the same time, I don't think it hit the best way for me. But overall, you know what? I think if you enjoy the first Leprechaun, to me, this one isn't that much worse. Like, I think you would really like this one. So
I don't enjoy the first one either. So it's, you know.
Yeah, so that makes sense for sure.
Yeah.
All right, Jill, finish us up.
Oh man, I'm gonna get so much shit for this. Maybe not from you guys, but definitely from the people in It Slays, because I was looking at Letterboxd and everyone on my Letterboxd has given Leprechaun 2 like a horrible rating. Like maybe the highest is 2.5 stars. And before watching this, my favorite Leprechaun movie was Leprechaun 3, and I had given that on Letterboxd 3.5 stars. But upon watching Leprechaun 2, I think it surpasses Leprechaun 3 a little bit.
Wow.
Maybe it was just this watch. Shit. So, yep, I'm going to go ahead and give Leprechaun 2 4 stars.
Woo! I love it.
As far as a Leprechaun movie goes, it's pretty immaculate. It has all the things that I like. It's funny, it's dark, it's stupid, it's scary, it's sleazy, it's got limericks. I don't know, man. I had a good time. 4 stars.
I love it.
I'm not going to argue with you.
Yeah. I would
never. That's awesome.
I'm also trash, so like take that with a grain of salt.
Hey, we all love trash. And this is the best kind of trash.
No, there's way better trash out there.
That's pretty good.
In fact, I'm going to talk about some trash in After Dark that's much better than this trash.
Oh, a little tease.
Yeah.
But I want to hear from everyone out there. What's your feelings on Leprechaun 2? Are you taking the route of Jill? Like, is this
probably not
the Leprechaun movie? Or are you down where Nathan thinks it is at 1.5? Let us know in the comments. But either way, I think it was a fun watch, and it's cool to watch more of the Leprechaun movies because they have a special place in horror.
Horror, it would be a different sort of space without Leprechaun, I feel like, for some reason. Like, Leprechaun, as much as I don't like it, it feels necessary in a way.
Yes.
I agree. Well, happy St. Paddy's Day. We'll be back soon with another review, and we're going to be doing my pick, which is The Invisible Man, the original from 1933.
Oh, thank you for clarifying that for me. I was totally ready to watch the new one.
Not the new one.
Okay.
We're going old school. We're going to the original, to the Universal Monsters, which also have a spot in my heart, just like the Leprechaun, but a different spot. There's plenty of room, though, because he's small and never mind.
My God.
Yeah.
Back to the padded room with you.
It's crazy.
It's right in your anus.